good evening. I hope all of you guys are doing very well and that you're very glad to see me because I am so. So, well, I'm just hoping that we reciprocate the feeling here, maintain the vibe, because what I have for you, like always, well, that's how I want to believe. What I have for you today is very important, something that needed to be addressed, especially in the times when everything seems to be going down the dumps. But before we begin, I would like a very quick logistical check. Please let me know in the chat box as to whether I am audible and visible or not. And if both of those two things are taken care of, let's simply begin with the biggest turmoil, with the biggest frustration that you guys are going through. But before that, like I always say, I need a heads up. Otherwise, all this mehnat will go down the drain. It'll all be in vain because we will not be able to, make the best or make anything, in fact, out of it. So please do write in the chat box. And if everything is visible, yes. Okay. Once we start on the discussion, so unlike all of the other sessions which I do, wherein I get a very swaggy PPT and we have so much of it, I'm not going to do that. I want to keep it very raw so that you relate. So what I've done is I have penned down the topics here. Please don't worry, my handwriting is not this pretty. It is not this beautiful. You know how illegible I write, especially when it comes to writing on the pen tap and on the board. But I've been able to use a digimarker here, so it's come out so beautiful. I will zoom it while I talk about it. And these are going to be the kinds of things that you must really inculcate. All things sound good and they sound, very refreshing and they sound very consoling. But please understand, they're just sounds. You will go back to the same old rut if you don't inculcate these practices. So whatever we discuss, guys, please make sure that you're going to make it a part of your preparation journey. Only then are you reaping results out of it. Just mere audience to all of this is good, but inculcating is what is going to get you the results. So please make sure that this is something that you are inculcating, because these are the kinds of, attributes that have been able to extract from your problems. I am sure something or the other will fit right by each of you, if not all. So you'll have to make sure that you really use it, because otherwise, what good are we doing of it? We are simply, we're pretending as if we are listening and that we are wanting to do some value addition to us, but in reality, there is no value addition whatsoever. So, like I always say, and something that I insist, please make sure that you use it. Okay, now, I'm sure आप लोग का सबका भी आजकल दिमाग बहुत एकदम off चल रहा होगा. Why? Because the mocks are coming so tough. There was this time wherein our confidence, our score, everything was rocket. Everything was, touching somewhere in the stratosphere, and that we were also high flying. बड़े मजे आ रहे थे. And then suddenly, since the past month and a half, everybody must be seeing a plummet of about 30 marks. That's again a minimum. कुछ के तो और भी है. But 25 से 30 mark का तो काफी drop आया होगा. See, there is this range of students who are like persistent toppers. We are not talking about them because they're hardwired. They're sort of conditioned in a way जैसे उनको कुछ भी, nothing affects them. So they are a different league. We don't talk about them. We talk about us, right? They also have their problems, but their problems generally are not about whether a mock is tough or weak. They have some other problems. उनकी third world problems होती है. Sometime we'll talk about that also. But right now, let's address. And I'm saying this, why? Because there could be a lot of toppers also who are going through this, and we definitely are. Right? So once bitten, twice shy. एक बार में discuss करके खत्म ही कर लेते हैं. करना क्या चाहिए हम लोगों को? So going back to these things or these frustrations are, I think, a common part, or they find their common place in all of your life currently. It's like you, your alter ego, and your frustration all living in the same mind. And we really want to make some room because we want our performance to be living there, breathing there. We don't want all these other things to be breeding, right? These are corrupt, these are negative vices. We just don't want them. But how do you get rid of it? The week goes fine, everything is okay, you somehow gather yourself, come to Sunday, the world comes crumbling. It's like the wall of Jericho. सब खत्म. फिर जैसे तैसे एनालिसिस करते हैं, सब करते हैं, कम मंडे और मोटिवेशनल गोल्स बनाते हैं, ट्यूसडे तक मूड अच्छा होता है, वेंसडे द चॉपिएस्ट ऑफ द लॉट, फ्राइडे से दैट एंटायर डूम्सडे स्टार्ट्स की संडे आना है, और अब तो अभी आई थिंक दो मॉक्स चल रहे हैं. So by the time you're actually able to get back from the trauma that happened on Sunday, Wednesday, ALET is giving us reality checks. So on and off, all of these things are happening. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you some very important things that you must know as to what is it that you need to do when the mocks come tough. Now, we are always so stuck onto our strategy that we never change it, or we never alter it, customize it as per the requirement of the paper. And that's the biggest problem we have. You have to understand, guys, you should be tailor fit for every scenario. It cannot be that you do something which is going to be for every type and every climate, academic climate. It doesn't work like that. You can't be the same person you were in school. Obviously, by the time you come to college or your high school, you have to change. And so is the case with every paper that you get. The first thing you have to understand is that a mock is going to test and train you for a lot of things and not just solving. सिर्फ सॉल्विंग नहीं करता है, बहुत एक्सटर्नैलिटीज को भी हैंडल करता है. तो अगर आप यू आर नॉट लर्निंग थ्रू दिस, बिकॉज a wise sage has said, mocks are a teacher, and the best way to know what it is teaching you is not by cribbing on where you lost. It's by flipping that retrospect and thinking that how could I get better. If you just change that attitude, everything is going to change. Attitude se aata hai na. I know this is a very stupid story that I might just tell you, but I'll just tell you. So I was listening to this amazing podcast the other day. So I keep doing that a lot. If you keep hearing a lot of my YTs, aapko pata hoga that this is something that I really like. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. So I was listening to this podcast around attitude, and it was mind bending. मतलब वो 2 मिनट के podcast में मजे आ गए सुन के. I'll tell you what it was in brief. So everybody goes to say, जंगल का राजा शेर है. The lion is the king of the jungle. But when it came to a discussion as to who should really be the king, king is always supposed to be the mightiest. King is always supposed to be the strongest. So us regard se to maybe a giraffe should have been, because it is the tallest. It could have been an elephant because it is the largest. It could have been the cheetah or the hyena or the fox. They are all cunning. They are billi ki family ki sab hai. So every animal has their trait. What does a lion have? And whenever you see that there is going to be an encounter of 2 animals, the other animal will always be in a fight or flight mode. उसके पास 2 ही चारा है. यहाँ से lion लड़ेगा, उसको flight करना है. He has to run. Why? What is it that the lion has? To which the one who was giving out the podcast said he has the attitude. He doesn't have anything and he knows it. He doesn't have the strength. He does not have the height. He does not have the sharpness, but he has the right attitude. So you might not have all the things, but if you have the right attitude, everything is taken care of. Be the lion of the examination. Don't be any of these other animals who have attributes, but they just don't know who's confident. हाथी एक बार लायन के ऊपर पाव रख देगा, तुम्हें लगता है लायन हिल पाएगा? कभी नहीं. But there is this fear inside the elephant because the lion has intimidated. The lion has, with his attitude, made the elephant think that you are nothing in front of me. And that's the kind of attitude that I want you guys to have. And attitude makes a lot of difference. So the first thing you have to reroute, you have to rewire, you have to hardwire, is going to be the kind of attitude that you have for the examination. No mock is tough. And if it is a tough, it is good. Because you know for a fact, and I can say this in guarantee, I can sign all my property. I don't have any though, pun intended, but I can sign off by saying that CLAT isse to easy aayega. So agar aap prepared ho for something which is so difficult, guys, whatever is going to be easy is naturally under your wing. So you have to know that you are only being, you're being groomed into doing what CLAT is going to give you with wonders, provided you do the tough mocks and you don't crib about it, right? It's like overtraining for an examination. You overtrain so that you are rightly trained for what is required. Easy होगा तो tough नहीं कर पाओगे, tough होगा तो easy तो कर पाओगे, और tough होगा तो tough भी होगा तो कर लोगे. So tough एक बहुत ही extreme वो होता है. It's like a very extreme benchmark. You can do everything and anything that's going to come underneath it. So with that, I hope you understand how important your mindset is, your attitude is, and the way you approach the mock altogether. Because if that is going to crumble, nothing can save you. There are going to be panic attacks. There is going to be loss of time. There is going to be distraction. There are going to be everything that you can possibly think of, which will make your exam or your CLAT a blunder. But we don't want to do that. You have to know that through all thick and things, you have to be giving in your best. Why? Because you're prepared for it. आपने एक पूरा साल उसके लिए दिया. You can't let one stupid feeling, one silly feeling destroy anything. So let's very quickly understand what are the kinds of things you must do to make sure, or to just be able to tackle a tough mock, right? So I'm just going to zoom this a little. We'll keep coming on to it. So it starts with what to do when you have a tough mock. I hope all of this is visible to everybody. So it is what to do when the mocks are tough. I hope everybody can. Okay, let's go. First, very important, focus on accuracy. हम लोग बहुत ही ज्यादा, we are sort of very customized to this activity of ours, wherein हम क्या करते हैं, कैसा भी मॉक आए ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट करने. अरे क्यों करने? जब मॉक टफ है, आपको पता है कि हर क्वेश्चन में ज्यादा टाइम लग रहा है, तो एक्यूरेसी पे फोकस करो ना. एंड एक्यूरेसी पे कैसे करना, इसका ये मतलब थोड़ी कि 60 क्वेश्चन करके आने. You can't do 50% of the paper, but if ideally your attempt is anywhere between say 105, 106, then maybe a good attempt of 90 is okay. You are not doing 15 odd questions. 15 odd questions is almost nearing a section. एक सेक्शन कम कर रहे हो मतलब पूरा 2 घंटा में कुल मिला के 4 ही कर रहे हो. और उसमें से भी अगर डीआई और जीके कर रहे हो तो वो क्या ही सेक्शन है, वो टाइम कंज्यूमिंग सेक्शन थोड़ी है. तो मतलब आपने रीडिंग सेक्शन सिर्फ 2 ही किए. अब अगर 2 रीडिंग सेक्शन के लिए आप मुझे बोल रहे हो आपके लिए 1.5 घंटा कम है, then something is really wrong here. So if the mock is tough, stop chasing the attempt, chase the accuracy. Ultimately it's your scores, it's your rank that matters. आप कितने क्वेश्चंस कर रहे हो, उसमें कितने सही हैं, वो अल्टीमेटली मैटर करता है. कितने क्वेश्चन किसने किए उससे कभी नहीं होता है. उस पे क्लैट मिल रहा होता है, उस पे नेशनल मिल रहा होता तो हर कोई 120 करके आता. It's what you score out of that matters. And because you are losing on negative, you have to make sure that you have to be controlled in the way you are. So if the mock is tough, the first golden rule is going to be you focus on the accuracy. आप एक क्वेश्चन कम करो, आप इंग्लिश में एक पैसेज कम करो. आप 24 में से 16 लाने के बदले आप 18 में से 16 लाओ ना. मेक सेंस. वो जो एक पैसेज है वो डू और डाई तो है नहीं. थोड़े से मार्क्स कम आएंगे, उसको बाद में जाके सॉल्व कर लेना. हर मॉक इतना टफ तो आना नहीं है. हाउ विल यू लर्न? यू विल लर्न लाइक दिस. So please make sure that you realign your focus and get onto the accuracy of it. Second, please make peace with the fact that they are meant to be so. They are supposed to be like this. It is not that they are not supposed to be. They are made tough for a reason, deliberately, purposefully, intentionally. ये सब है उसमें, ये उसकी रेसिपी है उस मॉक की. बनाया ही है टफ. ये थोड़ी एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि आप उस स्टफ को, ऑब्वियसली अब जिसने बनाया है वो आपसे तो सुपीरियर ही है ना. और कुछ कुछ मॉक्स होते हैं, बिकॉज सी अ गुड मॉक विल गिव यू कॉन्फिडेंस, एन इजी मॉक विल गिव यू ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस. हाउ डू आई राइड यू डाउन, हाउ डू आई गेट यू टू हु यू आर, वेयर यू आर एंड वेयर यू शुड बी. वी डोंट वांट, बोलते हैं ना मम्मी लोग घर पे नहीं बोलते पर लग गए, पर नहीं चाहिए हमको. वी वांट टू जस्ट बी calmer, वी वांट टू बी मोर एंकर्ड. ग्रेटिट्यूड होना, हम्बल होना प्रेपरेशन को लेके अलग चीज होती है, ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट होना अलग चीज होती है. वी डोंट वांट यू टू बी ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट, व्हिच इज व्हाई दे आर मेंट टू बी सो. एंड इफ दे आर मेंट टू बी, दे आर देयर. सो जस्ट ऑनर इट. डोंट गो अबाउट बाय क्रिटिसाइजिंग. कोई मूवी समझ में नहीं आती है तो उसको क्रिटिसाइज करते हो क्या? नहीं. यू ट्राई एंड रीवॉच इट, नो, टू अंडरस्टैंड इट बेटर. यू ट्राई एंड रीड द सिनॉप्सिस. देन व्हाई फॉर अ मॉक? व्हाई क्रिटिसाइज इट सो मच? Next, realize where you take time. A lot of us simply do the analysis of the question. We don't do analysis on the strategy. Always make sure that when you're jumping from one section to the other, on top of the section you write the time that you've taken, right? And time taken मतलब इसे calculate नहीं करना है, बस just time पे अगले section में आए वो time लिख लो ऊपर. You will know where you are taking time, and then when you reflect on the mock and the performance, you should be able to know कि okay, these are the kinds of questions and passages that take my time. Next time something like this is going to come, I will do it, but towards the end पहले बाकी तो कर लूं. मेरे को पता है कि I hate cricket. अब मेरे को sports बिल्कुल नहीं अच्छा लगता. I hate them. And whenever I get sports, this hatred of mine overpowers my comprehension. मैं जब तक वो पूरे पैसेज को 2 बार नहीं पढ़ूं मुझे नहीं आता. So while ideally I could finish a passage very confidently in about 3 odd minutes, It takes me close to 5 minutes. And now I know that if I was ever a aspirant, like if I could ever get a chance to sit for CLAT and something like this happens, I will keep that the last thing, the last in the paper, because I know I don't want to fuse my mind. I don't want it to go mad. I don't want it to go crazy. So please realize, where exactly are you taking time? This time is of your essence. You have to finish. They are not, next, they are not to define your self-worth. Very important. Whenever you tend to be doing a tough mock, please understand, I know stakes are high and all things, but that doesn't define your self-worth. What you have to do is, if there is a tough mock, take an average mock. ठीक है, एवरेज मार्क मतलब जो आपको लगा कि ये इजी है, 240 में से एवरेज निकालो, 120 करो, अपने मार्क्स देखो. दैट इज हु यू आर. That tough mock is not who you are. So if ideally you are somebody who's scoring in the 90s range or in the hundreds range, and then one fine mock you get a 60, do you think that 60 is going to define you? No, my dear. You add that to whatever is the other mock, average निकालो दोनों mock का, फिर देखो आपका क्या score है. आपको अपना एवरेज निकालना है, 5 मॉक निकालो पिछले, और फिर उसका या जो भी रैंडमली पिक्ड 5 मॉक निकालो, योर बेस्ट एंड योर वर्स्ट परफॉर्मेंस इंक्लूडेड, टेक एन एवरेज एंड सी वेयर यू स्टैंड. दैट इज हु यू आर एंड दैट इज वेयर यू आर. एक मॉक, नो, that's not how it is supposed to be. Rotate difficulty. Again, okay, my difficulty is gone off. I don't know why. Now you are supposed to rotate the difficulty, which means it's very important. See, it's redemption बोलते हैं, बहुत जरूरी है. When you do a tough mock and your scores have not come out very well, it's very important that you redeem yourself. Likewise, there is another very important activity that you have to do before sitting for the mock, which is called pre-reading. जिस भी section से आप चालू करोगे, नियम बना लो, make it a ritual that you will always solve 2 passages of it before you go for the mock. Right? So if I have a 2 p.m. mock, I will sit at 1 p.m. and solve 2. I know I want to start with English. I will do 2 passages of English and go. It's like warming up the mind. Likewise, once I do the mock and I'm down in the dumps, मतलब इससे ज्यादा तो मुझे बुरा ही नहीं, मेरे को existential crisis हो गया है, मुझे नहीं पता क्या करता है, then at that point of time, what am I going to do? Just do a sectional or something wherein you see what your score are, so that you know that that mock is not who you are, it is this who you are. Rotate किया करो difficulty को, and always make it a point that if it is a tough mock, put it in another file. File का नाम होना चाहिए tough mocks. Revisit it after a couple of weeks and see, have you stopped doing those mistakes? Or क्योंकि अगर tough mock होगा ना, the chances are आपको passage भी नहीं याद होगा, पढ़ा ही नहीं ना उतना ध्यान से, because tough जैसी कोई चीज होती नहीं है वैसे. It's our externalities or it's our response to that stimulus that decides. So revisit it and do it again and see, are you still making the same mistake or have you been able to grow out of it? Very important, right? The next. Guys, just 1 second. There we go. Right. The next rule says, don't binge on back-to-back mocks. एक और बहुत बड़ी गलती, जब एक कोई टफ मॉक आता है, मैंने बहुत बच्चों को देखा है, बैक टू बैक, बहुत बच्चों की डेली प्रैक्टिस हो गई है मॉक करना, कुछ भी नहीं समझ में आता है तो मॉक ही कर रहे. या तुम सेक्शनल्स करो. मॉक इज वेयर यू परफॉर्म. मॉक इज नॉट वेयर you test your skills. If you keep doing the mock again and again and again, when are you going to practice? And if you're telling me mock is where you practice, no, that's not right. You have to practice externally. You have to practice otherwise and then see it in the mock. The mock is a blueprint of your performance. It's a report card of what your final day is going to look like. So I have seen people, students who are going crazy, absolutely berserk on mocks. Everyday mock. आपको लग रहा है कि मेरे सेक्शनल्स हो रहे हैं, यार नहीं हो रहे हैं तुम्हारे सेक्शनल्स. सेक्शनल्स प्रैक्टिस करना, उसको इवैल्यूएट करना, जब वो प्रेशर नहीं होता है ना मार्क्स का, वो करना अलग चीज होती है. यस, यू शुड स्टिमुलेट मॉक सिनेरियोज once in 2 days, once in 3 days, very good job. But doing it every day, no. So please don't binge on it. There are better things to binge, man. You can watch Netflix, you can watch so much else. Why the mocks? Leave the mocks. Otherwise, you will lose the charm. And if you lose the charm, it will really hit you hard. Right? And the last thing you're supposed to do is identify what's toughness versus your weakness. You have to know, guys, a tough mock is not going to become a place wherein आप ही गड़बड़ो. See, अगर एक mock tough है, तो उसमें आपको अपनी weakness ढूंढनी है कि why were you so weak in that mock? That is what will help you define what you know is going to be wrong for you. So on a normal mock, if everything is okay, but in that tough mock, you understood that okay, specifically ये genre मेरे साथ नहीं पड़ा, या maybe ये questions मुझे नहीं समझ में आए, मेरे पास vocabulary की problem थी. That's where you understand that oh, this is my weakness. An easy mock will never tell you your weakness. A tough mock will. How else will you know where you're weak? Tough, right? जब सब लोग इजी है, सबके लिए लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड एक है, तो आप भी तो अच्छा, आप तो अच्छे ही हो, तो आप तो अच्छे ही हो. अब जब मैं इसको थोड़ा पुश करूंगी, आई विल चेंज द रूल्स ऑफ द गेम, आई विल चेंज द एलओडी, तब तो आपको पता चलेगा ना आपकी वीकनेस कहाँ है. सो टफ मॉक्स में अपनी वीकनेस ढूंढो, मॉक को इरिटेट होके मत करना चालू कर दो. Going forward, there are going to be a lot of crazy mocks. There are going to be tough mocks. There are rookie days out there, right? But what you have to do is you have to focus. If you are trying to tell me that आपके पास इस समय mock में 80 नंबर भी लाना difficult है, तो I don't believe that. It's not possible. You have 5 sections. So we have 5 sections, namely English, CR, DI, GK, and we've got legal, right? So if these are the 5 sections that I have, now out of the 5 section, if you are actually trying to be telling me that, ma'am, I wouldn't be able to get an 80 out of them, I'm so sorry, I can't believe this. Because 80 marks के लिए हो सकता है आप 80 on 80 ही ले आओ यार. 80 के लिए 120 में से आपने कितने नहीं किए? 40 क्वेश्चंस छोड़ दिए. आपको पता है 40 क्वेश्चंस का मतलब क्या होता है? मे बी 2 सेक्शंस ऑलमोस्ट. 2 क्वेश्चन कर लेना, 4 क्वेश्चन कर लेना. For 2 hours, you just have to do this or any other combination. Let me strike this and this off. For 2 hours, you only have to do 1, 2, 3. Are you telling me आपके पास इतना नहीं आएगा accuracy? It's not possible. And if that's not coming, you know where you're lacking, right? It is the performance. It is your practice. And here is where I come back to doing mocks every day is not practice. Solving the RSM is practice. Sitting in the class is practice. Doing your sectionals is a practice. Doing your topic test is a practice. Taking some other competitive book and practicing from there is practice. Mocks are not a practice ground. You can't do that. It's your final relay. You can't use that as a practice arena. That's not there. You will do it. You will stimulate it. आपको क्या लगता है जितने रनर्स और एथलीट्स होते हैं हर बार जहां ओलंपिक्स होगा वहीं जाके दौड़ते हैं क्या? पहले ही दौड़ते हैं, अलग अलग टेरेन्स में दौड़ते हैं. वही तो आपको करना है. So please make sure that that's not something that you do. And just these 6 inculcations are going to do wonders for you. They're going to work for you. So stop running away from the reality that mocks are tough. Yes, mocks are tough. Mocks are made to be tough because we want to have you so skilled, so seasoned कि कुछ भी आए आप लोग you guys are not going to fear anything. There is no fight or flight. There's only fight. That's the kind of mode we want for you. And if we want that for you, we are grooming you for it. It's just that instead of going under the radar, figuring out where you're going wrong, people are going on to the escapist mindset. And that is what we don't want. So I hope you now know if there is a tough mock, what do you have to do? You have to come clean. You have to not bother about anything. Just give it yourself. Do what you know. टफ मॉक का मतलब ये नहीं होता 120 में 120 टफ होंगे. टफ मॉक का मतलब होता है 30 क्वेश्चन पूरे मॉक में टफ होंगे बस. अगर आप मुझे बोल रहे हो कि आपको 75 80 सेविंग ग्रेस भी नहीं आ रहा है, then you know where you're faulting, because it's not possible. It's just not possible. It means you did not pick your battle. And if you've not done that, which means we are lacking in strategy big time, and that's not what we want. CLAT is just not about academics, guys. It is a lot about how you handle that stress, the pressure. And that's going to be something that you will only learn when you have an agenda set and how you want to go ahead with it. Okay, so that was a lot of heavy talking. I hope I did make a lot of sense. And I hope you've been able to understand how mocks are tricking your mind to think otherwise, but that's not what it is. The toughness of the mock is only a phase. But if you're not learning from this phase, you are at a loss. So please make sure that you take maximum value addition and you're able to do wonders out of this little timestamp that you have, right? And With that, I shall take your leave. Thank you so much for being earful to a very important and a very valuable session. I'm going to see you guys very soon. There is another very important strategy session that I'm going to do, wherein I'm going to tell you how to analyze your marks. That's going to happen sometime. Stay tuned. You will be notified for it. But until then, please make sure that this is not happening. You're not succumbing under pressure, because you guys are made to do great things, guys. And if you begin to get a little scrambly right now, it's going to show. And we don't want that. Right? Thank you so much, everyone. Please do hit the like button if you like the video. You know the drill. Share it with your friends. Let them also get some help, because sometimes all what you want is somebody to say it out loud. And that is just what I've done for you. Once again, thank you very much, and I'm going to see you guys very soon.